with HITC Sport, and yes, transfer deadline day. It's always chaotic, so I'm just going to take a look at every Premier League club and grade how satisfying your deadline day actually was. Just looking at the players you were linked with, who you bought, who you sold, just seeing whether it's justified for your fans to feel like pulling off their own eyebrows in disgust. Right, let's go. Arsenal fans, oh how anticlimactic. This is like waking up on Christmas morning and seeing what Santa's left you in your stocking, only to find your naked granny drinking whiskey underneath the tree. Similarly, you'd think after a 5-0 battering at the Etihad, the fact this group of players are now stuck at the foot of the Premier League table, you'd think that would trigger a marquee deadline day arrival, right? Nah, instead, Arsenal fans were just told they have no interest in signing Leon Hossamawar. Yes, I'm pretty sure that news made some Gunners fans bleed through the knob, but let's be honest, the French midfielder is the next Nabil Fekir. Another overhyped lump of nonsense. For Arsenal though, it was 1 in, 1 out. In comes Bologna centre back Takahiro Tomiyasu for £19 million. Now, to be fair, he sounds like a type of Japanese soup, but dumping William Saliba on loan at Marseille because there's no room at the inn, and then offering this former J1 League defender a 4-year contract, it makes no sense. Hector Bellerin finally left, by the way. This guy's been linked away from Arsenal for years, and considering most of the fans think he's about as defensively sound as a dead houseplant, oh, he's probably delighted to leave. But in the past, he's been linked with Man City, Barcelona, Inter Milan this summer. So at 26, an anticlimactic loan move to Real Betis to play under a failed West Ham coach for a team who just lost a pre-season friendly to Derby County, to be captained by Joaquin, someone who's just 10 years off 50 and must surely have the calf strength of a box of Rice Krispies. It's a bit underwhelming, but at least he won't have to spend every weekend being compared to a cross-dressing horse. Honestly, some Arsenal fans think this guy is Lady Gaga in a wig. Exciting English winger Reece Nelson was loaned to Feyenoord as well, and considering he'll be 22 in December, I think it's safe to say his Arsenal career is lying face down in a ditch. He's their very own version of Ryan Sessegnon. Overall though, I'll give this deadline day a pretty underwhelming 5 out of 10. Aston Villa, again, nothing really happened at Villa Park. I guess 26-year-old right-back sponge Federer Gilbert was loaned to Strasbourg for another season. I'm sure Villa fans probably reacted to that news the same way they would if you told them that your cousin was forced to eat his shoelaces for tea. They wouldn't really care. But again, nothing else happened here. Give it a 3 out of 10. Brentford. Yeah, nothing much happened at Brentford either. 19-year-old left winger Alex Gilbert was just loaned to Swindon Town. But again, nothing really happened here. Brentford weren't even linked with a deadline day signing. Just nothing. I'll give it a 2 out of 10. Brighton. Okay, so this is a big signing. I don't know how Brighton and Hove Albion just signed a left wing back who was on Barcelona's books for 8 goddamn years. Yeah, I know, he looks like a middle-aged man who probably listens to Radiohead in his car, but they've just paid £15 million to take Marc Cucurella from Getafe, and they've slapped him into a 5-year contract. Now, to be fair, this 23-year-old would have spent his teen years dreaming about playing alongside Lionel Messi, so tell him he'd instead be stuck on the bench next to Adam Lallana for 5 years, and he'd probably shoot himself in the face. But still, good signing. They've also managed to hang on to Neil Maupay, with Rafa Benitez probably spending deadline day hiding in his shower with a net. A solid 6 out of 10. Burnley. Okay, this was just weird. I know Burnley signed Maxwell Cornet from Lyon the day before. That was weird. He doesn't really fit the Burnley job description, i.e. knuckle-dragging British cavemen who probably sweat through their teeth. So Cornet was a weirdly ambitious signing, yeah, but no. Burnley spent deadline day being offered the chance to sign Weston McKennie from Juventus. How does anyone at Juventus even know who Burnley are? This is a 23-year-old USA international midfielder who's playing Champions League football alongside Ronaldo last season. So how in a pig's left nipple would Max Allegri have been able to pitch Tuesday nights at Turf Moor to this guy, forcing him to play in the midfield like Josh Brownhill and passing the ball to a walking chicken saddle like Aaron Lennon? Oh, it would just be cruel. Thankfully it didn't come off. Instead, the only piece of business was the signing of 25-year-old Welsh international right-back Connor Roberts from Swansea for £2.5 million. Not a bad chunk of business. I'll give this a solid 6 out of 10. Chelsea. I'm gonna say it. Transfer deadline day for Chelsea was underwhelming. This was your chance to cut the wage bill. Dump a bunch of bench-warming rejects in the local dumpster. Yes, you've managed to loan Danny Drinkwater to Reading, but that doesn't solve anything because I'm sorry, I don't think a struggling championship club are gonna agree to pay his £100,000 a week wages. So again, no, you're just paying another £6 million again for a misfit who hasn't completed a pass since 2017. Again, this was your chance to finally dump Ross Barkley. Apparently, Burnley were interested. Now, a former Everton and England wonder kid spending his peak years at Burnley, he probably reacted to this transfer link by vomiting blood all over his telly. But still, Chelsea couldn't shift him. Yesterday, you loaned Dujon Sterling to Blackpool and Ethan Ampadu to Venezia. But that's it. Similarly, you rejected Borussia Dortmund's attempt to borrow Callum Hudson-Odoi. Are you serious? That is ridiculous. Thomas Tuchel doesn't even need Hudson-Odoi. If you'd allowed this English kid to replace Jadon Sancho at Dortmund, allowing him to become the finished article over a 2-year loan deal, and, you know, like Sancho, he'd explode into another world star in the Bundesliga. You could have had a Sancho-esque superstar on your books. But now again, you're forcing him to spend another season rotting away on the bench like a half-empty tin of baked beans. Every week his confidence getting further and further shoved down the toilet bowl. You also failed to sign French centre-back Jules Koundé from Sevilla, so I suppose that means Kurt Zuma's move to West Ham has just left you short. And you brought in Saul Niguez on loan from Atletico Madrid. Yeah, he's a top player in the Liga, yes, but he's out of form and you don't need him in your midfield. He's got flop written all over his face. Some signings are just too good to be true. He's going to be underwhelming, like Thiago Alcantara at Liverpool last season. Trust me, he's going to be the Spanish version of Donny van de Beek, just constantly stuffed in a duffel coat rotting on the bench. In 5 years' time, you're gonna forget he was ever at Stamford Bridge. I'll give this whole day an underwhelming 5 out of 10. Crystal Palace. There was only one deal at Crystal Palace, but I'm sorry, Patrick Vieira must be rubbing his hands together. He'd have known about Odsonne Edouard for a while. Good Christ, he was a PSG Academy striking superstar. He spent 7 years at the club. He scored 60 goals in 2 years with the under-19s. But anyway, he's been arguably Celtic's best striker since Henrik Larsson, battering 76 goals in 4 seasons at the club. And Crystal Palace clearly have an allergy to sticking the ball in the goddamn net. So a £14 million move for a 23-year-old French underage superstar. He's a goal machine. I mean, he scored 17 goals in 14 caps for the French under-21s. Honestly, this is a superstar signing. It's like buying a young Loic Remy. I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. Everton. What is going on at Everton? Seriously. Yes, French left back Niels Nkuku was loaned to Standard Liège in Belgium, but your final day transfer signing, Salomon Rondon, in from Dalian Professional out in China on a free transfer. Is this some sort of sick joke? What is Rafa Benitez's obsession with this man? This guy is signed him for his last 3 clubs, including him dragging him halfway across the planet to China. What, is he just some sort of comfort blanket? And Tarfi Moaz came back to Juventus on the day that you bring in an over-the-hill lump of candle wax from the Chinese Super League for less than a packet of Maltesers. It makes no sense. Why did you let Keane go? The man's got more talent in his left nostril than in Rondon's entire body. Also, can I ask, why is James Rodriguez still at the club? The guy is openly admitted he doesn't even watch your games anymore. He's just a highly paid outcast dumped in the reserves. Could you not have got him moved to AC Milan or back to Monaco? Honestly, it makes no sense. By the way, trying to hit 600,000 subscribers as soon as possible. If you want to slap that big red button, you'd be the greatest person on planet Earth. Anyway, back into the video. Leeds. Yeah, only one signing on Ellen Road on deadline day, and it was just tying up a move for someone they nearly signed in 2018. Good old Daniel James. I mean, to be fair, the Welsh winger turns 24 this season. He's not a child anymore. I'm sorry, £25 million for a winger with 6 goals in 50 Premier League games. And apparently that's worth a quarter of £100 million paycheck. Is it just me who thinks Daniel James is too one-dimensional for Marcelo Bielsa's system? Yeah, he's quick. That's about it. Some Leeds fans are trying to convince themselves that Bielsa will turn him into his version of Iker Munian. No, he's just a fast pair of legs who's got the footballing brain of a paper aeroplane. To me, this is just an overpriced meh. 5 out of 10. Leicester. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I was confused why nobody seemed impressed by Ademola Lookman's loan spell at Fulham last year. Yeah, I know, he chipped a penalty down the middle at West Ham, but does that mean everyone was just going to let him rot on the benches out in Germany? But no, Brendan Rodgers essentially replaced Damari Gray with an upgrade on loan with an option to buy from RB Leipzig. To me, stick Lookman in a team with actually good players around him and playing for a credible football coach instead of, Scott Parker, the modern day well-dressed Tim Sherwood who's got the tactical nous of a baked potato. I think Lookman's going to be one of the best deadline day signings in Europe. But agreeing to loan Belgian midfielder Dennis Pratt to Torino for a season, that was a weird one. He's a good player. Overall, I'll still give the day a solid 8 out of 10. Liverpool. A big lump of nothing. Liverpool fans must be fuming. Nothing. Not even Saul Niguez on loan. Literally nothing. You loaned Reece Williams to Swansea, that's it. You didn't even cash in on Nathaniel Phillips. You weren't even able to sign Yves Bissouma from Brighton. Just nothing. 0 out of 10. Man City. Okay, I don't think anyone was actually expecting Man City to do anything last night, right? I mean, Pep Guardiola already said the transfer window was closed. The only loose end, though, is that nobody managed to find a home for Bernardo Silva, who clearly wants to quit the club. So great, another 6 months of crying in the Manchester rain, wasting away on the bench, whilst desperately trying to stamp Jack Grealish's ankles in training. You're just keeping an unhappy player on your books? 1 out of 10. Man United. Yeah, Man United fans, you've won deadline day. You can't do any better than this. You've just signed Cristiano Ronaldo for £19 million on the same day you've sold Daniel James, this generation's Aaron Lennon for 25 million quid. Lads, Manchester United have added a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner to their squad. On the same day, they make a £6 million profit. I'm sorry, for that alone, Ed Woodward deserves a goddamn knighthood. I don't want to hear any more stories about disgruntled Mancunian plumbers breaking into his house or defecating in his flower pots. He's just returned Ronaldo to Old Trafford. Utterly ridiculous. Tell a Man United fan at the start of the window that deadline day would consist of exterminating Daniel James' piggish end product and replacing him with Ronaldo. Just what? I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. It could not have gone better. Newcastle's transfer window has been a big lump of ready bread, but there was some sign of life on the final day of the transfer window. Yeah, you've loaned Irish centre back Usham McEntee to Greenock Morton, and you've just signed a 19-year-old Mexican striker called Santiago Munoz. No. This is for real. This guy is a fictional character out of the movie Goal, played by Kuno Becker, an actor who clearly had the actual footballing ability of a shoe. But it gets even weirder. That was a story about a Mexican kid who was spotted living in America. Well, this kid was born in Texas. I mean, what? You've just signed a fictional movie character. What next, Steve? Are you gonna stick Buzz Lightyear left back? Maybe give Frodo Baggins the goalie gloves? But yeah, Santiago Munoz at Newcastle United. You just know he's gonna try and get off with the local nurse. But yeah, pretty underwhelming day. Nothing happened. Talks broke down with Leicester midfielder Hamza Choudhury. Oh yeah, that's great, Bruce. Try and sign someone that broke Matt Ritchie's leg. That's great for squad morale. Give the whole day a 4 out of 10. Norwich. You ripped up Swiss defender Tim Klose's contract, and that's it. Ozan Kabak arrived on loan from Schalke the day before, and even he's about as inspiring as Mulch. So as deadline day goes, big waste of time, 1 out of 10. Southampton. Yeah, nothing really happened here in deadline day. Just Southampton ripping up Michael Obafemi's Premier League status. Oh, that's great. A 21-year-old striker from Dublin. One of our only ray of hopes when he scored at Stamford Bridge 18 months ago. Of course, Southampton would just have to stuff him in a wheelbarrow, selling him to Swansea for less than £2 million. But yeah, for Southampton, a nothing day, other than your club finally giving up on a supposed Irish wonder kid. 3 out of 10. Tottenham. This was a disappointing day. You had a £30 million bid rejected from Wolves for Adama Traore. You loaned Cameron Carter-Vickers to Celtic, and you just ripped Serge Aurier's contract up and fed it to the cat. I'm sorry, that's nothing to celebrate. If a football club is forced to tear up a contract for a right back they paid £23 million for, then something has gone desperately wrong somewhere. But yeah, you paid £25 million for a Brazilian right back from Barcelona, Emerson Royale, which once again shoves Matt Doherty back down the pecking order. Great for Irish football, isn't it? It's a decent signing for Tottenham, but the Traore failure, the Aurier embarrassment, 6 out of 10. Watford. No deadline day signing for Watford. Instead they just loaned Andre Gray to QPR. But yeah, pretty nothing day, 3 out of 10. West Ham. West Ham fans should be disappointed. The transfer window is over and Jesse Lingard is not in a West Ham shirt. You've signed 23-year-old Czech midfielder Alex Kral on loan for Spartak Moscow, with David Moyes just fitting a squad with Slavia Prague alumni. You've loaned Connor Coventry to Peterborough, but there is a big signing. £33 million on Croatian attacking midfielder Nikola Vlasic from CSK Moscow. Now don't get me wrong, he could be another superstar, the next Dimitri Payet, but £33.5 million. Could you not have spent that on Lingard instead of taking a gamble by chucking this transfer fee as an Everton reject? It's an expensive gamble, I'm calling this 5 out of 10. Why did you just not sign Lingard? Wolves. Well, you've managed to keep your hands on the Adama Traore, which is good, but you've just loaned Morgan Gibbs-White to Sheffield United. Talks broke down with Lille over a low move for Renato Sanchez, so that's definitely disappointing. And you would think after 3 straight defeats without a goal, maybe a deadline day move for a Premier League proven striker? I mean, I think we all know that RB Leipzig's Hwang Hee-chan is going to be about as threatening as an egg sandwich. This guy who scored 0 goals last season, 0 in the Bundesliga. So, nothing, just... Lads, I think Wolves could be in trouble this year. 3 out of 10. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what do you think. Let me know about your deadline day business. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.